The Q4 numbers of Tesla are just out and the Tesla investors couldn't ask for more. Now, we have a 2.14 earnings per share. We have $6.3 billion in cash, and we have $7.4 billion in revenue. Now, these numbers are absolutely crazy good, and all about it here in this vlog. So after market, the stock of Tesla rose to $650+ per share, which is another all-time high. And I just wanted to remind you, since the summer, since the stock is at 178, I'm telling you on this channel, and if you are watching this channel already, then congratulations when you became wealthy. If not, then maybe you should consider to subscribe to this channel, because I'm telling you, since the summer, since I started this channel, that Tesla is a growth and value company, and what I see at Tesla, I barely see any other company out there, and therefore I believe that this is a one lifetime chance to invest in such a company with such a great product, such a great management, such a great growth story, and so on and so forth. So there's a growing market for this kind of vehicle, and they make so many things right. So let's dive directly into the Q4 update, which Tesla presented in the new style as they did also with the Q3. Okay, so let's have a look what Tesla presented here just after the market closed. So we are about $6.3 billion in cash, and this is absolutely insane because Tesla never had so much cash on hand, and this is because of a very specific reason. When they sell cars, they get the money for the cars actually when they deliver the car, but they have to pay the suppliers just 60 days after, and this generates a huge cash flow load. Alone in Q4 they had a 1 billion operating cash flow, a positive free cash flow just in Q4, which is absolutely insane if you think about that. People and short sellers said that this company is near to bankrupt in the summer, just a couple of months ago, and Tesla then just exploded and gained the market cap of GM just in a couple of weeks. This is absolutely insane, but I believe there's a good reason behind it, and this is showing us in every new quarter that this company will outgrow all the negatives and will just deliver. Now let's dive into the operating profitability, because they reported another profit, non-GAAP, of $386 million. Now this is also a new record this year, because the quarter 1 and 2 were not profitable, but then the 3 was great, and then this is even better. Obviously with such good numbers in the revenue, which was 7.38 billion, this is absolutely more than many people on Wall Street expected, and that's why the stock went up 11 and 12% after market. And let's see how it further develops the few days. I'm absolutely pumped how this company is outgrowing, and I don't want to change my skin absolutely with Tesla short sellers right now. At this point, I cannot imagine how the short sellers are feeling right now or thinking about the company. This is absolutely insane, guys. Another highlights that they marked directly on the second page of their Q4 update. They said the Model Y production ramped in 2020 January already ahead of schedule. They also said they improved the mileage on the car from 280 to 315 miles. This is really good. This is more than 10%, and I I believe that this is so important and shows how far ahead Tesla is technology-wise. Moreover, they said they had delivery records, which we know already, more than 112,000 cars delivered to happy customers. Also, they improved the delivery of storage, which is another growth of more than 50% for solar quarter over quarter. And you see, these are absolutely growth numbers. I don't know about another company that growth this much with this profitability and have is already so far in the product and so far ahead technically about other car makers that, you know, I would be very, very scared if I would be Ford management or GM management, because these numbers are really scary for those guys, okay? And I'm not even talking about autopilot or full self-driving, which we will come into the minute. So we are here way ahead of any other car manufacturer or car company out there in this field, considering the big two things that will come up. So self-driving slash autopilot, as well as electric. But let's compare those numbers to the numbers that were expected, okay? And let's also compare these numbers to last quarter to see how Tesla is growing here and how beautiful this is for Elon Musk here. So let's dive into the expected whisper number, which is, you know, the number that many analysts and companies are expecting by Tesla. So this was at revenue basis 7.05 billion, which was actually much beaten with the 7.38 billion here. The income was, as we said, 386 versus 316 expected, so more than 20%. And the EPS absolutely crashed. 1.62 was expected versus 214 was delivered. I apologize that I repeat myself, but these are really good numbers. And if you see, the Q3 expected was very low and they beat, and here Q4 just happened again, as considered even that the delivery numbers was published before that and people or analysts could adjust their expectations, but they didn't even expect this quarter beat, and therefore, you know, this is just absolutely fantastic for this company out there. Now let's dive into the other highlights of this quarter. So obviously after the quarter released, there was the earnings call, and there was a couple of questions by analysts, and the most important I will discuss with you. So first of all, some of the analysts were asking, just because of the stock price, is it a good time, or it's definitely a good time for Tesla to raise money, because in the end, how a company on the stock market can raise money is to issue new stock, and with a so high stock price, they just issue a couple of 100,000 or millions of stocks and gets huge new fresh cash on the market. Now, what I think it's super positive that also the CFO Zach Kirkhorn and also Elon Musk, the CEO, both said that Tesla won't take any new money from the market, and maybe or they don't want to ever raise money again. They want to be self-funded, and this is so great to hear, because this was also a big negative news and saying and statements by the short sellers that, you know, this company need to raise money, and now we are at the point that totally out of their own cash flow and their own money they earn on the cars and on their solar and energy part, that you know, this company is self-sustained. And this is actually what Elon Musk said also in the other quarter, that they want to be self-sustained at this point, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's why this is positive news for Tesla investors, definitely. Another good point from the earnings call was actually when they spoke about the cost of making cars and also about the expenses that are coming up. Obviously, the ramp up of Shanghai factory in 2021 should be the Model Y produced in China, and also there's other expenses like the Gigafactory in Germany, or the development of the battery battery to become more and more cheaper, because this is one of the key points of Tesla, because this is the most important part of the electric car, of the cost as well. So it's making a big charge of the producing cost of the car, and therefore Elon Musk didn't want to go into the specifics, but he said, the goal should be to make the batteries more affordable, to produce volumes and to give this back to the clients. And they said, for example, that's why they're holding back a little bit the semi-truck, because they just need the cells to produce for the Model 3 and the Model Y, and therefore also we will see that semi-truck will be produced in this year a bit already, but they wanted to use these batteries, and also they want to produce them in more volume to serve all the cars. So they actually have a really good problem here. They don't have any demand problem like stated for months from negative guys out there on Wall Street. They have a problem of not growing fast enough. And Elon Musk said that he actually believes that he don't want to stop artificially the growth or slow it down. They really want to grow as quick as possible, but as healthy as possible in the end of the day. And therefore, I believe that this is a very, very good statement, a very, very mature statement that we hear here from Elon Musk as well, which, is new to the game. We know that from other earnings calls that he could be a little bit out of his skin, and we see now a more mature Elon Musk, a more relaxed and more forward-looking, concentrating on the company and the product, giving good answers on questions. So you can see that not only Tesla is growing, but also Elon Musk is growing with the company and with the success, obviously, and therefore you have to consider that Elon Musk is still on the younger side and grow this company, and so far he didn't brought the company so far already on the stock market, and this is obviously something brand new for him, and his team is young. So we see these improvements and they are so positive, and that's why this is also absolutely great point. Another great news is, and this was what we are waiting for, to be very honest, this will be another push for the stock market and to see how far Tesla can go. On April, most probably, as per the earnings call, Elon Musk will promise the battery day. Now, the battery day is something very important because a couple of months ago, we had the Autonomous Day. This was an event, an internal event for Tesla shareholders, where Tesla presented the new technology, and they presented so many interesting things. They introduced their own chip that they spent billions on, and that is crashing everything out there, depending on Nvidia working decades in chips, and Tesla just come out and make a better chip than them for self-driving. They show how far they are with the software, which is absolutely insane. The software knows actually that it's recording by cameras what is going on the street and knows what is what, and it's improved with every new miles driven with the cars. Obviously, also in the letter it's saying that 3 billion miles are already driven with the autopilot. So it's just getting insane. So battery day will be so important because they just acquired Maxwell with the new battery tech, and he said already in an interview that there is so many good things and so huge improvements coming to the battery, and I believe this will be the key point for Tesla to just be out of any reach for any other car manufacturer. And most importantly, I think that there is maybe some part in it in a couple of months or maybe years that other car manufacturer will turn to Tesla for their tech, especially companies that want to produce a new car and don't want to spend all this research and manufacturing cost, and maybe I'm talking about companies like Apple, like Sony, all these companies that obviously will maybe not create their own plant of cars, but the transportation will so much change that we will go in different car brands that are technology companies at this point. So this is where I see the future. If Tesla then will have enough capacity while producing millions of cars to still serve these companies with their technology. This will be another question. However, you know, there's always a good thing that, you know, being overloaded with orders, then, you know, having to fight to sell the cars like Daimler or other car manufacturers have right now. Therefore, you know, from the car manufacturer standpoint, we are in such a great track. Also a great guidance, comfortably 500 cars this year as per their Q4 update. On the other side, Solaris will also be a huge push because, for example, just in California, by law, every new house needs a solar roof. This will be a huge push for the solar technology for Tesla as well. And also, I believe that the robotaxi thing this year and next year will just show us the future. And this is a future company. I am inviting you to the future as well. So stay tuned. Make sure to like this video so far if you like it so far. And I see you here every single day because I'm vlogging every single day on this channel about Tesla, the stock market, stocks in general, investments.